Even throw out the little gravity ball and then hit him with the hold and then, you know, do a skill and then use my 1A, hold him here. Pretty cool system where he has a little bit of setup that he can do. Alrighty, hey yo, what is up, Knights? Just Rick here, back with some more DFO Blitz. This time on my specialist, of which I've thrown all of the meme gear on him, trying to make him look as epic as possible. There's not a lot of armor sets to play around with, so I'm sorry for this guy's goofy ass look. But anyway, guys, we are rocking a 5-piece Dusky. That's currently why we're in the Saint Horn. We're going to get our last piece, and we should be able to get it today. I found this piece randomly, but we do have the Dystopian Ender. I'm going to show this off. This is mainly why this weapon is kind of making the class for me, and I'll show you why that is. I also, just like on the last video when we talked about the troubleshooter, I did have the equipment control option, so I'm going to be more diligent in making sure I actively use that, because one of the properties of the weapon itself is it has this little ball. You see that little ball on the side? It shoots down a meteor and one-shots everything. On top of the idea of you kind of having that equipment effect ability as well, you have this little ball that kind of one-shots at all times, and bagoosh, 15 mil. Like, it is really effing cheap, but I love it. Okay, and you can, you know, they're a little bit offset, so you can see right there I use the equipment option, and now I have the ball back, and it's really making the class, it's really making this a lot more fun than it would have been otherwise. So because it's really helpful when you're not very strong, right? Okay, when I'm farming this dungeon right here to try to get my ancient set, I don't have the full ancient set yet. I'm not going to be doing a lot of damage, but this is a fixed amount of damage, and yes, this kind of damage is going to fall off at the end, but it's pretty nice to have at the beginning when you're not very strong as is. So bagoosh. So this is what I was saying, it's kind of a joke. I don't want to have it overshadows this class, but trust me, when you're playing this class, and if you played it during the time that they handed those weapons out, there's no reason not to spam that thing every room to just wipe out everything like that. Okay, but I'm gonna stop doing that for a little bit now, just because I want to show off a little bit about what this class is about. Much like the troubleshooter, which we just got through explaining, and I'm gonna try to go into my 1A here. And I used it anyway. I'm sorry, I'm so used to using it on this character. Seriously, I spam it every time that ball comes out, because it's a good source of damage, man. Why wouldn't you do that? Other gear have equipment options to kind of make your damage stronger. Well, this guy has just a really high burst move, so it's a really cool effect. But anyway, much like what you had with the troubleshooter, who is focused on holding, this guy is much the same, except he does it a little bit differently. He does have a really low cooldown move in that gun move right there, which is the electrostatic gun. Bagoosh. And that one holds pretty easily. We also have another move that holds as well. This one right here holds, and you can see I can expend a little bit of my energy, which is this battery gauge, to extend or change or modify the effects of some of my skills. Whenever you see a red skill cast, that means I used up one of my energy charges, battery packs I guess I should call them, and that will extend the duration of the hold or give it extra effects or something of that nature. So when I use my Second Awakening, since it's red right here, you can kind of see I use it to extend the duration of that hold just slightly. Usually that's the case, okay? If it's an effect of a skill that is a holding skill, it'll extend the duration of the hold, and if it's an effect of a skill like this one, which is designed to suck enemies in, you can expend battery to do that. So it's kind of like a way to augment some of your skills. We've had a lot of classes that have this kind of effect, although I think it's decently realized on this class. I mean, mostly when you're going to use it, you're going to use it for the hold. You'll see you'll extend it a little bit like that. And most of the time that's just all you're going to be worried about doing. So his skills on its own, I'll say his lower level skills, I mean his high level skills are so underwhelming. I don't know what the fuck they did. I think it's this right here. No. I'm trying to remember this skill right here, and this laser skill, which I think is the worst skill ever. The only thing that did damage was the big bomb there. The worst. What level skill is that, dude? This skill right here, the Dispulsion, I'm pretty sure is the worst skill in the game for its level range. It's level 70. It does nothing. It does next to nothing. It is an awful, awful skill that I don't know why the hell they even gave it to you at that rate. Why is it not like a level 20 skill or something? It's just so bad. But I don't know, hardly killed that guy. level 70 skill. But anyway, you kind of get the point. Okay, he has some pretty decent skills, and you can see I am making short work of everybody without cheating using my little ball there. So he has some pretty cool skills. Most of them are very, very linear, but his main call to fame is going to be holding potential with those skills like there. And I do believe he has more than what the troubleshooter has. Don't quote me on that, I'm not really sure, but you can kind of see how it kind of works out. You can set up, do a little bit of setup, and I kind of like that about this guy, is that he has various moves that during his hold you can kind of set up properly to make your other skills do damage. Obviously the weapon proc effect, or not proc effect, the equipment option where you can just throw out things is really, really realized. Yeah, obviously you can use the proc effect of your weapon. You can just kind of press the equipment key option and bagoosh, everything dies while you're in the middle of holding. And you can kind of see that this character does have some setup skills. So this one right here, if I hit him with any of my skills, it'll increase its damage. But you can kind of imagine during the hold I can proc the explosion of that grenade, and it does a huge amount of damage. So this skill right here, normally a blue glow, I can extend the duration a little bit to increase the hold potential, but you kind of get it. You know, he has some residual holds, so I don't even have to sit around for those. Like the little gun, the little plasma gun, I can just shoot it real quick and they're held, and I can keep doing damage while they're held. Same thing with the little prism that I shot out, the energy bounce. I can throw that out there and keep the damage onslaught going. So even throw out the little gravity ball and then hit them with the hold, and then, you know, do a skill and then use my 1A, hold them here, use a little effect. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool system where he has a little bit of setup that he can do. He can kind of hold and still do damage. He's not just stuck to holding. So aside from that, I do kind of feel like the little battery gimmick thing is it's not realized as heavily as I would like, I guess. I don't know what I'm kind of expecting, but it's just sometimes it kind of goes unnoticed, the extra duration that you get off the hold and stuff like that. Not really a big deal. You know, it's gonna get the job done anyway. You know, that's kind of what I'm getting at here. The explosion at the end there. And most of the time, the only one I really see it on is in this skill right here, which basically doesn't have any suction unless you use the charged effect. And you can do that by either by charging the skill beforehand, like this skill right here. You can charge the skill beforehand to get extra effects, or just by pressing the skill key again. So if I use this right here, if I just press the skill key again while the skill animation is going, I get the red effect. Same thing with like the awakening and stuff like that. I just have to press it again and I'll get the extra, I'll use up the battery. So it just kind of depends on what skill you have to get the extra effect. And that means that there's a little bit of thinking involved, right? Because you can't just go out there and press this skill without charging it beforehand. You know, you have to kind of be ready for it. Oh, wow! I'm wearing cloth armor right now, so obviously was not ready for that. Let's go ahead and try. Okay. He has some pretty good burst damage, honestly. Minus the death right there, but he has some pretty good burst damage with the CEAB2 here, right here, CEAB2. He can throw out the energy bounce, and during that time the energy bounce is going, you can throw out all of your other skills in preparation to use yet another hold, like the emission and your awakening, and keep throwing out your weapon proc effects and stuff like this, and you kind of get it. He does have the potential to do quite a bit of burst, and because of that, he is a little bit more, he's one of the more involved, I would say, agent classes. If I was going to pick an agent class for the holding potential, this will definitely probably be it. Now give me a second, guys. Look at my inventory. Anyway, like I was saying, he was a little bit more involved in comparison to the other agents. That being said, he's still pretty decently strong. So if you're looking for a hold type character who can still do some other stuff, this guy's pretty much no slouch. He's pretty strong and it's pretty nice. I do like the little shadow effect that most of these crafted weapons have. That's pretty awesome. Gonna set up with this, gonna set up with this, gonna blow up the bomb. He's done so. It's kind of what I'm saying. The combos that this guy has is pretty awesome. Probably not even doing it nearly as strong as it could be, but you know, it just kind of depends. This hold doesn't last forever, so you know, you gotta pick and choose what skills you want to actually use. But that being said, it's still pretty effective. Just remember, I mean, this is the one thing I have to remind you, just like I did with the secret agent, or excuse me, the hitman. He has a weapon effect that has to, you have to remember to activate it at least once at the start of this dungeon. This guy is more like you have to remember to activate it at all times. You know, every single time that thing is up, you're not doing damage, you know. So bagoosh, one-shot the whole thing, and now you don't even have to worry about using a cooldown on your skill. You just have to throw this out there. It's like my favorite combo right here. It gets the job done. And if not, I have a little hold duration here, extend the hold afterwards, and then, you know, throw 1A, 2A, whatever. Most of these guys are not going to be able to run away. They're going to die with your hold durations long enough, and you'll be just fine. Now, yes, I am doing a little bit easier content. Again, this guy is not... I kind of apologize for not gearing this guy out yet. It's taken me this long to do it. It does have a charging move in this move right here. I believe it gets extra hits if you charge it. I don't believe it actually even uses up any energy to do so. Oh yeah, that's another skill I remember using a lot while I was leveling. In fact, I still like it a lot. The squarely it's called. And if you use up well, I guess it's not great to use it against this guy, but if you use it against group of enemies, it's a really good grouping skill right there. It kind of sucks enemies right in front of you and has an extremely low cooldown. Extremely good for leveling, that's what I'm saying here. So, you know, one of those types of moves that definitely serve you well while leveling. Okay. Oh, I couldn't chain it, and now I'm looking directly at him. Iframe my saving. Oh, doesn't matter. I got him. That is a long hold with that 1A and the red extension, man, let me tell you. Really, really long 1A. So, anyway, guys, I don't think I have much else to show you guys. I know this was just a boring 10 run here into the interdimensional rift. I just kind of wanted to show how this guy plays. I don't really have much against this guy, but honestly, you know, like I said earlier, I think he is really good for a synergy type character as well because he can do some damage. He also has the same thing with Troubleshooter. This is kind of why I said that this guy and the Troubleshooter are like the same. They feel like the same class, except this guy's more magic based and a little bit more involved, whereas the Troubleshooter is more AoE physical based and just kind of bursty. This guy is more like setups and holds. He does have a defense shred option as well. I think both of them are in their passive right here. In injection, anytime I hit with one of these holding type skills, they're going to be hit with a debuff, and again, the synergy kind of racks up yet again. So we're noticing that a lot with various characters' designs. They're really following the Inquisitor route again. You know, they're gonna have some kind of shred ability if they're a holder. You know, if they're holding a lot, you're gonna have some shred ability. Except I like this guy a little bit more in terms of actually playing him, because I feel like there's some kind of setup involved using the, you know, the bombs and such, and using your holds. They last long enough so that you can intentionally use other skills in the meantime. It just sucks that he has like really bad low-level skills like Dispulsion here. I mean, gosh, I wouldn't even think about using that thing. That thing sucks. But other than that, he has some decent grouping, good AoE, good hold, and damage shred. What else can you ask for? So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you nights later.